the summer transfer window, we have talked countless of times around Napoli's star forward in Victor Osimhen, and in the beginning of transfer window we were heavily interested. Then it looks like we gave up and abandoned the deal completely because he would cost too much and he had high wages as well, and it looks like PSG was really pushing a move for Osimhen. However, those negotiations have been stalled in the current moment because PSG has too many strikers, of course, and we Chelsea are desperate to get in a goal machine up front that's going to add a variety of different goals and really going to be that box threat. Now it looks like we have re-entered again, and there is plenty of time left until the transfer window shuts down and anything can happen. And I'm going to explain in this video why I think we are leading the race and why this still could happen. And then we're also going to go through the Atletico youngster forward in Samu Omorodion, because it looks like he's edging closer to a move to Stamford Bridge, and we're also gonna finish the video on another story. So before we continue any further, as usually, and if you want to be a legend for me, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page and hit that notification bell down below. And we're going towards 500 subscribers. That is the next target, so would be much appreciated. So let's get in to the stories. And Ben Jacobs and Sarkinsella both coming with the breaking news around Victor Osimhen. So I'm going to read a bit of it, of course. Chelsea are still in talks for Osimhen, and a loan with buy option has been discussed with Napoli. First, they come out stories from Di Mauricio that, and even Osimhen's agent, that they're not gonna go for a loan move. That's just nonsense. But we have seen this report coming up here and there from multiple journalists, and it could make sense because we are actually the one that are in favor to get Osimhen here, and Napoli are so desperate to get rid of him, and they need Lukaku too, so we have the upper hand in his transfer deal. Continues further, Napoli is still pushing for Lukaku, who is their top target to replace Osimhen. Lukaku has already agreed to a 3-year contract, and that's what I'm talking about. We leading the race here because Napoli and Conte are so keen on getting in Romelu Lukaku. They need to get him in. There is their top target, but they don't have the funds to purchase him in the current moment. They need to sell players, and the player they can cash in the most amount of money in the current moment is Victor Osimhen. Can really drag this out to the last seconds of the deadline day, I believe. I think we are playing a games here. And if we were to secure Osimhen, which I would absolutely love, I'm going to give our sporting directors full credit here. Even further, Osimhen is open to Chelsea, but ideally wants a permanent aspect to the move. Although his agent Calenda has denied a fantasy exchange. Chelsea don't have a maximum wage in mind apparently now, so could break their structure, but it's a non-Champions League season, meaning all rivals must buy into a wage decrease comparative to if Champions League is not achieved, because that is something we have put in place. Like, depending on how we're performing, their wages can decrease, but they can also increase. It's sort of performance based, which I think is brilliant because it forces the team to also step up. Now we know that our wage cap is around 180k, I believe, per week, and Osimhen is earning around, I think it's 200,000, a bit over that. I could be wrong. I have totally forgot what he's earning in wages, so correct me if I'm wrong here. It would make sense if he could lower it a little bit, because first of all he gets to play in Premier League. For Chelsea he gets to play regular minutes compared to in Napoli. PSG doesn't want him, and it's coming also further updates that he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Arsenal could also go for him, but it's a complicated move because you need to pay a lot of money and high wages. So hopefully he can be willing to lower it a little bit, and then he could instead get bonuses that is installed in his contract depending on how he's performing. Let's say he's hitting 20 goals or 15 goals or something, then he's getting bonuses. And the same could go for other things. I think you can still play around the wage cap in different way, because I think we should really think over this move, in my opinion, because Victor Osimhen has shown he is a prolific goal scorer up front. He had a poor season compared to his previous ones, but the whole Napoli, I want to remind you guys, they were really poor last season, literally every player in that team. So maybe his career can go upwards on the Enzo Maresca system, and I expect us to create a lot of chances. If you're thinking of the chances we had last season under Pochettino, our whole front missed chances in the final third, except maybe a Cole Palmer. Imagine if Osimhen would have had those opportunities, we could at least score maybe 5-6 goals more, and that could have made a slight difference and actually help us achieve a 5th or 4th spot. And yeah, we're not having Champions League, of course, that could be a downside, but he at least gets to play in Premier League, which is his dream. It seems like he has been a Chelsea fan when he was younger, looking up to Didier Drogba. We should really have the upper hand in this transfer move, and as I want to remind you guys that Napoli are so desperate for Lukaku, he wants to leave. We could really drag this on and make it really difficult for Napoli, but of course we need to get rid of Lukaku too. But I think we could definitely sign him. It's not impossible, the transfer window isn't over yet. And if you think about it, where is Osimhen supposed to go if he doesn't sign for Chelsea? As I said in these stories, he's not necessarily entertained by moving to Saudi Arabia. Also got further transfer updates around Atletico striker in Samu Omorodion. This is coming from none other than Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea have all set with Samu Omorodion to join the club on a 7-year contract, because that's how we roll. And it will be valid until June 2031. Personal terms agreed, and Atletico will receive a 35 million fee. That was revealed yesterday. We'll give green light for Omorodion if they manage to secure Julian Alvarez from Manchester City, because they need to replace Omorodion, and Julian Alvarez will also fit like a glove into that system, because he's someone that can play as a false 9, deep lying forward, second striker, and we know Diego Simeone loved those players. Like, to give you both some positive and less positive takes on Samu Omorodion. First of all, he seems to be a young wonder kid, a really powerful physical forward that has that box threat and probably has a massive future ahead of him if he's getting the right development and game time and manage to settle down well here in Chelsea. Like those forwards that have box threat, and if we're getting in him, we're getting in, then we have different profiles. And I also like that we have to pay less money now. I think Samu Omorodion, didn't he have like a 70 or 100 million release clause or something? Or that was the valuation at the beginning of summer? Because Atletico really said we're not gonna let him go. But now they got Gallagher, and Julian Alvarez is interested and agreeing on personal terms to join Atleti, which means they're getting in a better forward than Samu Omorodion. That's maybe why they're accepting this, and it's good that we're only getting him for 35 million compared to what his valuation was for a couple of weeks ago. It's a cut price, and he seems to be a young wonder kid. It's just that we have signed so many of these wonder kids, I'm just getting tired of it. And when you're getting in so many of them, I just think they're going to block each other pathways. And I can't stress it enough, but I would really love if Chelsea could have a balance of mix with elite experience and young guys in the team. And if we're also going to get in Osimhen, that leaves us with 4 strikers. Osimhen, Mark Yu, Nicholas Jackson, Samu Omorodion. Can they all necessarily get the game time? And what was even the point with Mark Yu? He has looked promising now in pre-season, although it is only pre-season, but it looks promising. What's gonna happen with him? Is he gonna like go out on loan to Spain or in Premier League, Championship or something? Then it's probably, we have to wait and see, but that could happen, and I'm really wondering what was the plan in purchasing him then. So I'm a little bit worried that we're getting in so many positions, and I think they're going to block each other pathways. And yeah, that's my opinion around it. Let me know, of course, your thoughts. Moving on to the last story, and it actually looks like, which is confirmed by Rahman Osman, that David Fofana, who we purchased from Molde back when Potter was a manager, could go on a loan to Leicester City, and there could be an obligation to buy in that deal as well. A few more clubs in Europe has also shown interest, but David Fofana wants to stay in Premier League. And it's so funny, when we're signing all these younger guys, they talking about, after they're taking a lot of photos with Chelsea and had their interview, they mentioning it's dream to be in Chelsea, want to win trophies here, and then next transfer windows they are sold or going out alone and we never see them again. So we're using them as stocks in the market. David Fofana looks to have a promising end in his loan spell at Burnley. Maybe had something going on there. Wouldn't it be better if we just had him in the team then, and he could be one of the younger guys getting sporadic minutes? But maybe Enzo Maresca, the sporting directors, felt that he might not suit the style of play they want to play at Chelsea. So that's all around the stories, and there will be more transfer updates coming out later this week, so stay tuned for that. And I thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'm out. Peace.